The question of why so many individuals pass away before reaching the age of 85, even when they show signs of excellent health at 70, consistently concerns many older adults. This is especially true for those who strive to maintain their energy, physical strength, and independence for as long as possible. One might maintain a healthy diet, get regular checkups, and diligently follow doctor's orders, taking all necessary medications. But what if the most significant threats to longevity lie in seemingly minor daily actions, or conversely, in their absence? We're not talking about sudden, dramatic medical crises. Instead, it's about slow, subtle habits that gradually erode the body's physical and mental state, often going unnoticed until a critical moment arrives. This article will delve into 5 common misconceptions that many people unconsciously make, which significantly reduce their chances of living to 85. The insights presented go beyond typical health recommendations. These are deeply considered, practical conclusions derived from real-life experience, from observations consistently made by doctors, professional caregivers, and even those who have outlived their peers. Regardless of whether you're 65 or 80, these 5 preventable missteps can be a hidden factor accelerating the body's aging process. More importantly, we will discuss concrete steps you can take today to change your current situation. Therefore, if you're serious about making the most of your golden years, maintaining mobility, mental sharpness, and waking up daily with a sense of purpose, you should undoubtedly pay close attention to these recommendations. The first identified mistake is neglecting daily physical activity. A major misconception among many people after age 65 is the belief that only formalized physical exercise truly matters. This refers to strenuous workouts, visiting state-of-the-art gyms, or following complex fitness programs, which, frankly, often no longer align with an older person's current lifestyle. This line of thinking leads many older adults to completely abandon all physical activity. However, the truth is, not just gym walls hold the key to longevity. It's the minor but regular daily movements that can extend one's life far longer than they might imagine. A simple walk to the mailbox, bending to pull weeds in the garden, reaching for dishes in upper cabinets, or even standing while on the phone. All these seemingly small things are the body's secret weapon against inevitable decline. When a person stops moving, even if it happens gradually, a little each day, their muscle system subtly weakens. Joints lose their former mobility, and their sense of balance becomes increasingly unstable. The most alarming part is that these changes often go unnoticed until a fall occurs or an overwhelming fatigue prevents even getting dressed in the morning. This is how the slow, almost silent slide into frailty begins, not with a crashing blow, but with a barely audible whisper. It's not just about physical regression. Movement has a direct link to blood circulation, brain activity, and even overall emotional well-being. When you move, blood actively pumps to the brain, and special chemicals are released that boost mood. Physical activity also expands the lungs, strengthens bone tissue, and supports normal digestive function. However, when a person spends most of their time sitting, day after day, their body gradually begins to prepare for a slow, silent, and efficient shutdown. It's as if the brain decides, looks like we're not needed anymore, and starts to slow down all vital processes. One reputable study demonstrated that simply standing up and moving gently for just 3 minutes every half hour can reduce the risk of premature death by over 30%. We're not talking about running or lifting weights, but just minor physical activity. Unfortunately, the vast majority of people tend to underestimate the significance of this simple yet powerful factor. As an illustrative example, consider the story of a 78-year-old former bus driver who, after retirement, almost completely abandoned most forms of physical activity. He didn't feel sick and had no major health issues, but he confessed to his daughter, "I just feel slower and stiffer each year." After a minor fall while getting out of bed, his doctor gave him a serious warning. Your physical strength is declining much faster than is typical for your age. This was a real wake-up call for him. Instead of going to a gym, he made a different decision. He set a strict rule for himself. Never sit for more than 30 minutes without standing up and doing at least minimal movement. Whether it was light stretching, a leisurely walk around the house, or just a few leg lifts at the kitchen sink, he steadily maintained his activity. And after just 6 months, he was surprised to find he felt 5 years younger. The reason for this transformation wasn't strenuous workouts, but simply an increase in his daily movement. The key significance of this aspect lies in a dangerous mindset that often grips many older adults. The belief that slowing down is perfectly natural. While some physiological slowing with age is natural, complete inactivity is not. When we start to view movement as optional, we accelerate the very process we fear, the loss of independence. The truth is, longevity doesn't belong to the fastest, strongest, or youngest. It belongs to those who move tirelessly, who keep going, even if it's just a few laps around their living room. So, if you're over 65 and aim to live to 85 and beyond, it's crucial to remember, every step matters. There's no need to become a professional athlete. Just keep moving, because the moment a person stops, their body begins to write a completely different ending to their life story, one they might not want to see. Keep walking, keep stretching, keep standing. That's how you extend your stay here. The second serious mistake, often overlooked, is neglecting preventative medical checkups. One of the most common reasons people don't live to 85 isn't dramatic illnesses or sudden accidents. It's quiet, unseen problems they never anticipated. Many older adults stop seeing a doctor unless they have obvious pain. They skip routine checkups, ignore minor changes in how they feel, and hope it's just a natural part of aging. However, this silent avoidance is a mistake that can cost a person many years of life. Many of the most deadly conditions, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, or certain types of cancer, don't cause pain in their early stages. They slowly and subtly creep up, damaging internal organs, disrupting circulation, and weakening the immune system without any loud warning signs. By the time symptoms appear, the damage may already be quite significant. But if these conditions are detected early, most can be controlled, effectively treated, or even fully reversed. The key is to catch them first. Here's the main catch. Human nature tends to avoid discomfort. No one enjoys going to the doctor, hearing unpleasant truths, or waiting for lab results. However, for people over 65, skipping annual checkups is like driving a car without regularly checking the oil. Everything might seem fine until the engine suddenly breaks down without warning. Unfortunately, this is how many people end up in the emergency room, only to hear medical staff say, "If only we had caught this sooner." As an illustration, consider the case of a 72-year-old grandmother who felt perfectly fine. She had no particular complaints, just occasional mild fatigue. But her daughter insisted on a full medical checkup just in case. It turned out her blood sugar level was dangerously high. She was diagnosed with prediabetes, which she hadn't even suspected. However, thanks to early detection, she was able to make several lifestyle changes. She gave up sweet snacks, started taking walks after dinner, and within a year her levels returned to normal. No medications, no hospitalizations, just awareness and timely action. Why do so many people avoid this? The answer lies in fear. Fear of bad news, of inevitable aging, or of being told something they don't want to hear. But, paradoxically, facing these fears head-on empowers you. It gives you control over the situation. When you know what's happening inside your body, you gain the ability to fight back against illness. You can make informed decisions, not excuses. And this is precisely what distinguishes those who thrive in their 80s from those who don't even reach 70. There's also the false belief that what I don't know can't hurt me. For older adults, however, the opposite is true. What you don't know is precisely what can kill you. Think of screening tests like colonoscopies, mammograms, regular blood pressure checks, and prostate exams. They aren't just for detecting diseases that have already developed. They are essential for protecting your future. They serve as guardrails on the winding road of life, keeping you on track even when you can't see what's ahead. And don't forget the emotional component. Regular medical checkups aren't just about illnesses. They're about peace of mind, knowing your health numbers, having a doctor familiar with your history, and developing a clear plan for your health all foster confidence. Confidence, in turn, leads to better habits, higher quality sleep, and reduced stress. It's a domino effect where one positive change triggers a whole chain of beneficial outcomes. The third mistake, one of the most silent killers in old age, isn't heart disease or cancer. It's loneliness. We don't often talk about it, but social isolation poses a health risk as serious as smoking, high blood pressure, or obesity. When people drift away from friends, lose touch with family, or stop actively participating in community life, something inside them slowly begins to fade. Their sense of purpose gradually wanes, their spirit dims, and then the body slowly starts to give out. This doesn't mean you need a house full of people or endless social events. It's about genuine, meaningful connection. It's about having someone to truly laugh with, confide in, and share your thoughts with. Yet, as we age, many of us tend to withdraw. Perhaps it's due to the loss of loved ones. Perhaps we don't feel as sharp or quick-witted as before. Or maybe we think, I don't want to burden anyone, so we prefer to stay home. We keep silent. And over time, we start to disappear not only from others' lives, but from our own. The scientific data on this is striking. Studies have convincingly shown that older adults experiencing chronic loneliness face a 26 to 45% higher risk of early death. Why? Because isolation erodes all aspects of life. It disrupts sleep. It weakens the immune system. It leads to depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline. The human brain needs connection with others just as the body needs water. When these emotional muscles aren't used, they atrophy. As an example, consider a 78-year-old man. After his wife passed away, he barely spoke to anyone but the mailman for almost 2 years. His health began to deteriorate rapidly. He lost weight, stopped shaving, and his arthritis significantly worsened. But everything changed when a neighbor invited him to a weekly coffee gathering at the local community center. He didn't want to go, but he went anyway. This single act of courage led to new friendships, laughter, and a feeling that he still mattered. Within a few months, his mood noticeably improved. He slept better. Even physical pain became more tolerable. The truth is, connection keeps us alive. Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. But to maintain that connection, we must reach out. Even when it feels incredibly difficult, we must make the call. Say yes to an invitation, join a group, or simply start a conversation. Waiting for others to notice our loneliness doesn't work. People are busy, distracted, or simply unaware of our situation. You must be your own advocate in seeking connection. And here's a deeper level of understanding. When you isolate yourself, it's not just that others lose you. You lose yourself. Because it's in conversation, in laughter, in being seen and heard, that we feel fully human. The stories you tell, the wisdom you share, it all matters. You matter. And your presence in someone's life might be exactly what they didn't know they needed, just as their presence might be what you need most right now. If you felt withdrawn or isolated, don't wait for the perfect moment. Just start small. Call an old friend. Visit your local library. Say hello to a neighbor. These small acts of courage build a bridge back to life. And when you cross it, you'll find that what you thought was lost, your joy, your strength, your spark, is still there, waiting for you to reclaim it. The fourth mistake, ignoring chronic inflammation. Here's what most people over 60 don't realize. That aching in your knees, stiffness in your back, swelling in your hands, it might not just be age. It could be chronic inflammation. And if left unchecked, it doesn't just cause discomfort. It subtly increases the risk of heart disease, Alzheimer's, diabetes, arthritis, and even early death. Inflammation in small bursts is your body's natural way of healing. You cut yourself, and inflammation helps repair the damaged skin. But when it lingers, when your body stays in this constant fight mode day after day, it starts to destroy healthy tissue instead of healing it. It's like a smoldering fire left unattended in a house. It might not burn everything down at once, but the damage gradually accumulates. The problem is that most people don't even realize they have inflammation. No loud alarm bells. It manifests as fatigue, brain fog, a little swelling here, a slight stiffness there, but it's just a whisper before a scream. And many older adults mistakenly attribute these symptoms to simple aging, when in reality their body is desperately crying for help. As an example, consider a 73-year-old woman who lived with constant joint pain, low energy, and frequent colds. Her doctor finally ran tests and found elevated inflammation markers. Instead of prescribing more pills, they chose a different path. She started eliminating ultra-processed foods and added anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens, turmeric tea, and salmon twice a week. She also began taking 20-minute walks every morning, regardless of the weather. After 3 months, she felt like a completely new person. Her joints weren't perfect, but they moved significantly better. Her mind was clearer. She even noted that her mood improved. This happened because inflammation affects not only the physical body, but also the brain. When inflammation flares, the brain's chemistry changes. You become more prone to feeling anxious, irritable, or depressed. And over time, this emotional burden can lead to social isolation, chronic fatigue, and a sense of hopelessness, pushing people into decline much earlier than necessary. However, there's good news. You have more power over inflammation than you might imagine. It all starts with what's on your plate. Sweet snacks, fried foods, processed meats. These all fuel the inflammatory process. But berries, olive oil, nuts, green tea, they help put out the fire. Add a bit of daily movement, quality sleep, and effective stress management, and you're not just easing symptoms. You're slowing down the aging process at its root. And there's a deeper reason why this matters. Because every time you take action to reduce inflammation, you send a signal to your body. I'm not giving up. I'm still in the game. This mindset changes everything. You shift from surviving to thriving, from dreading each morning to anticipating what the day will bring. So, if you've been ignoring those little aches or writing off your fatigue as just aging, take another look. Your body might be trying to warn you. And the sooner you listen, the more years and more life you can add to your journey. The fifth mistake, living without purpose. There's a strong reason why people with a sense of purpose tend to live longer. It's not magic. It's biology, psychology, and human nature working together in quiet but powerful ways. When you wake up each day with something to look forward to, even something small, you give your brain a reason to be active, your body a reason to move, and your heart a reason to keep beating. But too many people after 65 slowly drift into a life that feels empty. Work is done, kids are grown, schedules become less demanding, and without realizing it, their days start to blend together. They eat, nap, watch some TV, maybe look at old memories, but the spark of life fades. Time moves, but life itself stands still. This isn't aging. This is disconnection. And this disconnection is one of the greatest threats to longevity that no one warns you about. Purpose isn't necessarily about achieving great feats or founding a major company. It can be as simple as tending a garden, helping a neighbor, learning something new, or being someone your grandchildren can count on. Purpose is what pulls you forward. It creates structure, meaning, and rhythm in your days. And when people lose it, they often begin to wither not just emotionally, but physically. In scientific circles, there's even a name for this condition: existential frailty. This is when a lack of meaning starts to negatively impact your health. Your immune system weakens. Your motivation drops. You stop seeking connections, stop trying new things, and slowly retreat from the world. And without this daily engagement, the body starts to follow the mind. Muscles atrophy, mental sharpness dulls, and joy becomes harder to find. A 78-year-old man recounted feeling as if someone had pulled the plug on his life. For a while, he just existed, eating what was easy to prepare, sleeping most of the day, and not caring to see anyone. But one day his daughter asked him to help his grandson learn wood carving for a school project. He used to be a carpenter, and that one moment lit a small spark. He started spending afternoons teaching his grandson simple techniques. Then a neighbor's boy joined them. Then the local church asked him to lead a Saturday workshop. Within 6 months, he felt something he hadn't felt in years: pride. He had a reason to get dressed, to smile, to plan. And what do you know? His blood pressure improved. His energy increased. And he said he felt alive again. This is the power of purpose. It doesn't just make you feel better. It helps you live longer, not just in years, but in quality of life. You laugh more. You build connections that, in turn, strengthen your brain, protect your heart, and ward off depression. It's a domino effect that starts with one question: what gives my life meaning now? So, if you're retired, widowed, or just feel your best days are behind you, pause and reassess your situation. Perhaps your purpose has changed. It probably has, but that doesn't mean it's gone. It might be hidden beneath your grief, your routine, or your fear, but it's there. And the moment you reach for it, your life begins again. Because a long life isn't about avoiding death. It's about embracing life, even when it looks different than before. Especially then, it matters most. Final thoughts. The truth is, reaching 85 isn't just about good genes or luck. It's a culmination of choices. Simple, everyday choices that slowly accumulate over time. Most people don't die early because of one catastrophic mistake. Instead of falling victim to a single catastrophic event, many pass away prematurely due to the steady repetition of minor but cumulatively destructive errors. These missteps, often made unconsciously, gradually erode the foundations of their existence, their true cost unrecognized until the very end. They systematically neglect their body's needs, ignore signals sent by their mind, consciously or unconsciously withdraw from social interaction, and ultimately allow the inner spark that filled their lives with meaning and value to slowly fade. It's important to understand that the aging process is not an endpoint or an inevitable decline. On the contrary, it's the beginning of an entirely new chapter in the book of life. And whether this chapter will be filled with deep love, strong connections, excellent health, or bitter regrets depends entirely on how you choose to write it. It's crucial to realize that the pen of destiny is still in your hands. This understanding alone serves as a powerful source of hope and inspiration. So, everyone should ask themselves, what one, even minor, change can I make in my life starting today? Perhaps it's a walk around the block instead of habitually sitting at home. Or perhaps a call to an old friend instead of passively waiting for their initiative. It might be time to finally schedule that long-delayed medical checkup. Or maybe it's enough to simply retreat with a cup of fragrant tea and honestly ask yourself, what exactly brings me joy right now? For the true secret to a long and fulfilling life is not hidden within the walls of advanced scientific laboratories or locked away in confidential medical files. It lies in one's daily habits, the quality of their relationships with others, their mindset, and, most importantly, their willingness to genuinely believe that their own story still holds deep meaning and value. And it truly does. Your story matters far more than you can imagine.